It's time for the moment you've been waiting for. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Tsh, da, 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 da. Di, da, di, di, da, di, di, da, 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 da. Di, da, di, li, da, di, li, di, da. Di, da, di, li, di, da, di, li, 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 da, di, di, da, di, di, da, di, di, da.
Ah,
Surprised by it.
all right.
Whoa.
All right. We're live.
Hey, the beards are back. Everyone's got it. It's a big
I don't have a beard yet. This is not a beard yet. But all right.
Baby
So,
Yeah, baby face.
all right. So, hello, everyone. This is your host, Fringe Average. We are doing a very quick, well, maybe not quick, but we're doing a last minute podcast because we're actually going to take the day off. But then all of a sudden, this morning, Blizzard launched the biggest patch probably since 2.0.
Massive.
Yep.
So,
And it's the first time
Gigantic.
we're ever quick. So,
yeah.
It's
Mammoth
so
proportion.
big.
Sorry, guys. Skype crashed.
So we're just gonna go try. Oh,
Sorry,
Whoa.
Skype crashed.
Bacon.
this is a different show.
I know.
Yep.
What,
Got the
did,
bacon.
did something happen to Bacon? Is he not here?
Yeah, Skype crashed. We good
Oh, okay. It is a different show, isn't it?
now. All right.
All right,
Thanks,
so
guys.
we're all back. So actually, all right, so we're just gonna do a really quick intro and then just get straight into the patch, and then that's it. So, all right, so we have our bronze type player that is Tyre Baron, who's calling in from San Diego. Say hello.
What's up? It's good to be here in the Nexus.
All right, I'm glad you accepted the bronze type designation. All right, let's go ahead and introduce our master level player that is Bacon, who's calling in from Buford, Georgia.
Hey,
All right, we have Scott, who's calling in from San Francisco, California.
Yo, yo.
We have our gold type player that has all backpack, who's calling in from Abu Dhabi. All right, so let's move on to the patch. All right, so
Sorry, who?
so Phoenix. Actually, so what we're gonna do is we're going to just go straight in order through all the major changes to all the characters, and then we'll give a final recap of what we thought or what we think about
Wait.
the patch.
That's the opposite of our plan from 5 minutes ago.
No, that was Bacon's plan.
No, we had a plan, and then Bacon revised it, and we all agreed. And so now we're going back to our original
Yeah.
plan,
Oh,
going
okay.
one by one.
that's what I
Plan
said.
changed. Improvise.
That's what I said. I said we're gonna go one by one, and then we'll give a recap of
Just
everything.
like a hot
all
game.
Die.
All right. So Phoenix, he,
She-
sorry, he got a kind of a nerf.
It's not Marvel. It's not Dark Phoenix.
Oh, here we go. All right, so Phoenix got nerfed again for the third time, I think. All right, so what do you guys think about Phoenix? So let's go. Who plays Phoenix here?
I'm playing
Bacon
know,
played
it.
him yesterday.
All right, Bacon, what do you think about Phoenix?
Yeah. Rip Phoenix. Is this finally it? That's what I think.
Nah.
This has
No,
to be.
this is the change you said that would bring him exactly in alignment at 50% win rate. And it's what
I
kind
felt
of agreed
like
to, too.
yeah, he'll
Okay.
still be strong, obviously, but the biggest thing is not the health change, but the phase bomb range and the warp cooldown. Those are like 15 to 17 seconds. 15 is already long enough, and bring it up to 17, and the range reduced from 11 to 9. That might be enough to
range
put him in a
reduction,
strong but not OP space.
Yeah, I mean,
That's-
the blink was as long as Denji Swift Strike. That was way too far.
Yeah, the range reduction is the biggest thing, I'd say. For that, the attack range reduction for your AOE auto attack is fairly small. I don't think you're gonna notice it that much.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
quarter of a distance. It's not much at all.
And he got a 5% health and shield nerf. But,
That's
I mean,
10% total, right? It's 5 on each.
No, 5% on each is
Okay.
no. You don't add them. That's bad math. Stick to chemistry.
They're different values, right? Right. It was 1,200, and the other was what, 800.
You
So
gotta-
5% is different.
5% nerf to his overall survivability.
Yes.
Hey, Scott. Random question. What's a vector?
A vector is a direction with a line attached to it.
And a
You
magnitude.
usually use it for like forces or stuff like that, velocities.
Oh, okay. All right. So now I know what a vector is. All right, good. Sorry.
Why do
What
you
is a
need to know what a
vector?
vector is? What do you need to know what a vector is?
Oh, Zuni and EBS graphic keep asking me what a vector is, so now I know.
Yeah, like Genji's Swift Strike. You hover over that ability, that's a vector.
Hmm.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Also, things like Tornado, that is vector targeting, where you click and drag, or Alrat's push. It's all vector targeting.
Wait, is Zuni like a scientist or something, or a mathematician? Or is he in school or something?
I don't know if that should be
Look in
public or
school.
not.
I
Yeah,
think
he's
he's
in
in
school.
school, right? Weren't you guys saying he's under 8? He's like 17 or something?
Yeah.
17.
Yeah, he's a minor. He shouldn't listen to us.
He's a minor.
So, but yeah, they're both at school to a certain degree.
Well, I did actually test EBS because he said he was a physics student or something. So I did test him on all of Maxwell's equations, and he got them all right.
Oh, all right. Well,
So there you
he's
go.
not lying, so that's good.
He had trouble
Yeah,
remembering Ampere's law, but other than that, it was all good.
All right.
What a noob. Does the Ampere's law?
All right, but sorry to derail. I needed to know because math came up. But so Phoenix, what do you overall takeaways?
Brought in
Dead.
line with other ranged assassins. He's not
Yep.
dead.
Not prioritized.
The two ranged assassins that were picked were Hanzo and Phoenix. Both of them got nerfed. Now maybe you'll see more Vala or
That's what-
Jin.
That's what
Mhm.
Psalm said. That Vala now maybe in the meta now because of this.
The biggest drawback to Phoenix, obviously he's obviously like top DPS because he's so overtuned and he's got great numbers. Oh, sorry, mid burp sentence, nice. The biggest thing holding him back is that half his health is attached to the shield. So like with this nerf and everything that comes with it, would it be worth it just to have like a support player can only bring him up to like 60% health, and that's not a lot of HP, especially for a squishy assassin, for him to get burst through and just get popped. And that's one of the main weaknesses of Phoenix. And this is even more so a weakness now that everything's touched down even further.
So what
So
would be
maybe-
like a Phoenix Tracer thing? Or to compensate for that? Sorry, a Phoenix Tassadar thing?
I think
I
that's
don't know.
it's already, I think, kind of a thing. Well, we tried to hyper carry with Phoenix yesterday, and it's actually really hard because with Uther and Kerosene, because he doesn't really lose health, he loses his shields first. So we have to kind of time out when he actually takes his, HP damage. So that makes it very difficult for him to hyper carry, I think. The health reduction is kind of what we were saying last time when we talked about Phoenix, that he was almost in line. We just had to reduce his health. The warp reduction and the range is, I think, the biggest, like was already mentioned. So it's good. He's
Yeah,
not
good.
first pick anymore, pretty much. He's not
I-
prioritized, I think.
I bet in about a month or two they revert the changes to warp. If you ask me.
No, he's
He's
already
in- he's
sitting up
right
pretty
again.
high. He's sitting up over 50%. Like this
Okay.
is not gonna.
Yeah, maybe the cooldown, but the range was pretty big. I don't think reducing 9 range is still pretty big. That's
Yeah.
Well, maybe for you.
that's as big as like
It's a Swift Strike.
it's as big as Tychus's like Odin form auto attack.
I got Scott off guard.
I feel like 9 for anything on the human body is actually gonna be pretty long.
All right. All right. So, anything else on Phoenix?
Maybe they'll stop fucking first banning him now, so we can actually play him sometimes.
Yeah, this is good.
All right. So Goldan. It looks like I thought he got a buff, but on Twitter, the pro players are saying that he got nerfed. But what do you think, Tyreburn?
I think they looks like they buffed his Drain Life talents, which no one picked anyways. Everyone always went the E build. And they gave it, I guess, a little bit. They buffed that in the sense that they gave him the regen globes heal more and more mana. But the thing with Gul'dan is that you never really went life drain because you have to stand there and use it. I think that's kind of a weakness. I mean, if you're going in, I think pretty aggressive with your team comp, you can kind of do that. But like if you're trying to poke in and out, it's going to be hard just to kind of stand there. Although there is a little bit of synergy with the his level 7, the Cursed of Exhaustion, where if you use Drain Life on someone affected by corruption, it deals the additional damage and slows them. But I don't know. Again, he still has to stand still. I don't think. Again, I haven't tried it, but I don't think it's going to be that powerful to overtake these corruption builds. So that's my take.
When I
on
was
that.
using it, it really needs a lot of you need a lot of
You
good
gotta stand
tanking.
still.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta have someone there making sure you don't get dove on.
No, not even that. You need to make sure whoever you're focusing stays there. That way you can actually get the drain value. Because
Well, they increase the range. She has a little bit more range.
yeah, but it's not 25%. It's not like suddenly it's huge. It's longer, but that's about it. If you get a full drain off and then your target doesn't die because you took the level 4 and 7 talent or something, the one that resets on death anyway.
Yeah.
If your target doesn't die, then the drain life is on 4 seconds remaining on cooldown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
it's
which
pretty
is
short.
yeah. Which is okay, but you're also channeling for like 2 to 3 seconds on that target, and who knows what else could happen during that team fight, and you only get the value if you get the resets on it. And it feels like your Q and E are kind of gimped because of it.
Yeah. He's not going to do as much damage, I think, as if he was just going his normal corruption build.
Yeah.
The haunt change it changes the armor reduction when it's hit. That is something that's picked a lot, so I think that has an effect.
Yeah, that's the nerf he got, was the level 20.
Yep.
Schizo's a good point. If you go W build, he's a solo laner. No.
True.
Yeah, but W build is bad. I mean, I like the fact that they buffed it and it's more viable now, but it's still not good. The main role of Gul'dan is to deal damage, and the life drain is it's by far his worst ability. That's a survivability skill. That's not a damage dealing skill.
True.
So you don't want to be using that as a primary focus.
And it's single target as well. It's no AoE.
For this build to be viable, the increased range of life drain would have had to been probably like 75% and increase the damage
Jesus
by
Christ.
like 50%. It's not good. I mean, if you're doing that as a primary way to deal damage, and it doesn't make you that much more tanky, because right now if you're using it, you're usually using it when somebody's in your face, and
right.
You're pretty in trouble. You're hoping that life drain will get you enough survivability for the tank or the healer to peel and heal you up.
True.
Pretty much.
And that doesn't change if you take the life drain talents.
The good thing is his combo doesn't change. You cast E, you press Q, and then you press life drain right after, and it's pretty much the same play style. If you take Curse of Exhaustion at level 7, if your target that has life drain also has the corruption dot, then they get slowed, and get more
That's-
damage.
That's like the only utility that Gul'dan has in his kit, as far as I'm aware of. Everything else is just all about buffing his own damage. So
Mhm.
that's like the only utility thing he has is a slow, if he gets the combo off.
I feel like there is value there. I don't know. Scott, I feel like you might be underestimating a little bit, but then again, like when I played him, he felt a little bit underwhelming but I felt like that was because I wasn't used to the talents yet.
I mean,
It's
I'm
a
not
change up in play
saying
style.
those talents aren't good, but you give up too much to grab those talents. His bread and butter is his
but
Q and E
His
damage.
Q stays the same, more or less.
But if you pick
and
up
if
the
you-
level 1 quest, you can deal that Q damage much more safely.
Not much.
I do have to
Yeah,
say
but
that
then
I do have to say
you trade that, but you also get from the globes. You get
Yeah.
more value from globes, and you also get 20 mana off of all spells, so you life tap less.
he does have
and,
mana issues. That's what I was gonna say. Is that Gul'dan does have mana issues and health issues.
Yeah, and
So,
I felt
the
like
regen
going the
gloves could
W
help.
quest, and especially in between fights, I could just Q a minion wave once, and then use tap all the way to get full mana, and then just drain life the entire way, and then I would be completely full. And you really can't do that with old Gul'dan without
Right.
like sacrificing like 2 stacks of your eat minion like ability, but that's also a long cooldown you might want to be using for team fights.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't have value. I'm just saying during team fights, I don't think it's going to be optimal. And I think you're going to get, if you're life draining a lot, you're going to set yourself up to get blown up.
And I do think the biggest change is the level 1. Like that's the most enticing. But then you have to give up his other level 1, which is the quest on the corruption, which is I think like his strongest damage output is when he completes that quest and he just gets a big power spike.
Yep.
So Hero Physio in chat, for those of you who don't know who he is, he's going to be in the intro and the outro of the audio only podcast this week. But he said in chat, he's the coach of LFM. So he said in chat, when talents get reworked, it's time to reevaluate when/how to use them. So
He's right.
Yeah.
but, I feel as though that like Chaotic Energy, the new talent, is the way, could be like the new go-to, right? Because you get more range on your W, or no?
Map dependent.
Yeah, it does.
Well,
Also
It gives you more health and mana though. That's the thing, right?
Yeah, I
Yep.
mean, possibly if you're not going E-build, it might be okay.
Well, I think Bacon tried out Chaotic Energy and he finished his quest, right? In a
Which
game.
one is Chaotic Energy? Level
The
1?
level 1, the
Yeah.
level 1 that reduces the mana.
Oh, with level 1 and all the other drain life abilities, I felt pretty not mana hungry.
Okay.
Right. But how did your
And I've-
damage feel?
I never felt that way with Gul'dan before because I always feel like I'm starving.
Yeah.
In terms of damage, okay. I felt like part of it is I'm not used to it, and I think I'll get better as time goes on. But and part of it was like I had to drain life Diablo a lot because he was in my face a lot. So and he has spell armor and all that, and that's a different story. But I was top damage of the game if that says anything, but it was unranked.
Yeah, and I was on the team, and so was Staden and Son. So
Oh, you're
the
three
MMR was
noobs.
pretty low.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not convinced. I think it's going to be good. The lower you are in level, I think the better it'll be. I think
I
the higher
think-
you go, the less viable.
Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah,
then
I
you don't even
also
wanna
think
babysit
it's
you.
map based. Larger the map, the more viable it is because you're doing one-on-one matchups more. And I think the drain life build is amazing for one-on-one.
Yeah, I could see that.
It works for Leo. No one
Yeah.
doubt that.
Huh?
Same thing. Yeah. He
I got
just
it.
Drain Hope.
Keep
We
it.
get it.
All right, so Hanzo, they reduced his attack range. from some-
Finally, anyone please wait. Oh, just gonna cheer for that.
and
Well,
they
he's on par with
yeah.
Raynor, who has
Yes.
enhanced. It's enhanced range.
Yeah,
Enhanced
and
eyeballs.
the more important thing is that his trait, the range of his range for his trait got reduced as well.
Damn right.
It was long to begin with.
Yeah.
Way too long. Even for
So-
Scott.
All right, so Bacon is like a Hanzo main, sort of. What do you think?
I mean, it's a nerf.
Is it-
Um,
All right,
the biggest thing
Hot
is
podcast analysis.
his Q build, the one that like that'll kind of feel bad.
Yep.
That's the biggest thing. His basic attack range, it needed to be nerfed, so it brings it in line, in my opinion. The natural agility, yeah, it was so long, but I feel like the Q talent was actually pretty needed for him. It's actually very comp dependent, map dependent, flexible with his Q build, W build. I don't know. I don't like that one out of all the changes, but the other two were definitely needed.
so Tyrebrand, you've played Hanzo a little bit.
Yeah. I actually go a lot of his wave clear Q build, so that's gonna suffer a little bit. So I probably won't play Hanzo anymore with the reduced range and reduced talent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything
Yeah.
else from anyone?
No, this is really needed. Like he was able to kite way too safely. He made all the other ranged assassins
Yeah.
much less viable. Like now the Vols are back. Now the Zuljins are back. The ordinary 6 range attack people can survive.
Yeah. There was no reason why he should have the longest range attack in the game when
Mhm.
Raynor, whose trait is increased attack range, is shorter than his.
Yeah,
Only has a gun.
with the sight.
Guns shoot further than arrows.
And by the way, Anna,
Not
who's
according to
also in this
Blizzard.
patch, Anna also has a 6.5 range, which I looked at.
And she's a sniper, for God's sake.
She's been
Yeah.
at 6.5 range.
Yeah, so Raynor is not. It's not just Raynor or Hanzo. It's Raynor, Hanzo, and Anna.
Yeah.
They've
All the
all-
guns.
Yeah.
Guns and
Natural
arrows.
agility needed to be nerfed too. Like I've seen him jump over some crazy far distances. That just seems stupid, ridiculous. So
Yeah, I know what you mean.
you know, sometimes it's like Hanzo looks like he's like damn near in the middle of the lane and he jumps over something. It's like, how the hell did that happen?
Very agile, Scott.
Do you think his jump should give him unstoppable?
No.
No way. It would be just
Nah.
like Muradin's dwarf toss or whatever. It's too powerful.
I mean, I will say with these changes, he may be a little bit more vulnerable, so he may need like a slight health buff to compensate. But I like that he's no longer, you know, able to attack from no man's land.
Yeah, no longer the safest assassin. I mean, all his abilities already have massive range, but now his auto attack is not one of those.
It's gonna be harder to stack redemption now if you go that level 1. Just a little bit harder.
I figured at stutter stepping, that's not an issue.
All right. So KT got a lot of changes, and a lot of people are talking about how Ignite came back.
Mhm. Yep.
All right, let's go to old backpack about that.
No, it's that Ignite, now that when you hit a Q, it applies the flame, what's it called? The
Living bomb.
Living bomb.
living bomb, which you also did CDR at level 13, I think it was. It got nerfed, but yeah, he's going to do very well.
Is it possible that KT could be like at the lower levels be the best assassin now with this change?
Oh,
It was for the game push
I'm
meta.
not convinced. You got to give up the double flame strike to get that talent now. You
Well,
know what
but
I mean?
the first flame strike never hits. I mean, it's like one of the two always misses. So now that one that hits will be a living bomb.
it's also not about the flame strike itself. It's about the zoning that it provides.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that too. Zoning potential.
Yeah, and the nerf that they had to living bomb a long time ago, where if you cast living bomb on a person who already had the dot, it explodes the first one and applies a new living bomb. That was what made Ignite OP.
Yeah.
It's gone.
True. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's
right.
like one fucking living bomb at 16, and you have to hit Flame Strike, one of the harder abilities to hit in the game.
Yeah. And
Where's
Living
the
Bomb
value?
used to spread to minions too off of heroes. So
Yeah.
you'd like spread it from a hero to minions, and then you'd have like 8 of them explode and just do stupid amounts of damage. Which
Yeah.
that's no longer in the game either. So
Thank
Yeah,
God.
only goes to heroes. So, like, I can see the value in it, but I don't know. I just the level 4 seems cool. Energy Royal. It just flat out reduces your
Oh,
gravity
mana
lapse
cost.
by 70.
That's a lot, right?
Huge amount.
Yeah.
It's basically free.
Yeah, it's almost free. I think it's 90 or 80 or 90.
I think
90.
it's 80. 98.
It's
Yeah.
90.
But it's just 20 minutes, 10 or 20 minutes. That's nothing. Come on. It's less than Lily's healing cup.
Yeah, I mean that's a huge buff to that talent because there's a good chance if you're going like convection or even like Fel Infusion, if you're not going the mana addict at level 1, you're gonna be starving for mana. And the other 2 talents at level 4 were mana reduction or mana granting talents. So this kind of makes that talent more viable.
Now, do you want longer range or do you want shorter cooldown of it? And obviously, the shorter cooldown one, you want to be kind of like following up on people. But if you're finding yourself that you need to initiate fights more and try to get more combos off, then you need to get the other one that increases your range. And that's cool that you have a choice now.
Yeah.
So you said for the Ignite and the double Flame Strike, you either go for zoning or for more DPS.
Yeah, I think this makes them a lot more viable too, because you can now actually pick this talent and not go super quick, which it makes him more viable because he could use his gravity lapse more, which means he can withstand dives better, which KT doesn't have any escapes, so he kind of needs this. This might become a staple for his talents now.
If you Verdant Sphere at Gravity Lapse, that's 3 E's you can get off, 3 stuns if they're diving you, and then 4 seconds later you have another E to get off, and that's huge.
Get your E off.
Yeah. I mean, obviously they're trying to go for a Pyroblast Living Bomb kind of build with these new changes, and they're kind of buffing his never used traits like Sunfire Enchantment, the auto attack spell power buff at level 7. Who the fuck's still gonna take that? I don't know. His old playstyle is gonna get buffed, and just in my opinion, just through this. I don't think they're not gonna change anything for him.
Well, remember what Hero said, right? New talents bring about new opportunities. Like, when do I want
Yeah.
this weird talent?
Maybe in lower levels, if they're clumping a lot, then you can go to Living Bomb build and get value from that. But like higher levels,
Schizo in chat says D, then bomb, then stun, then flame strike, then bomb.
I'm not sure about that. Does the now if you cast Living Bomb on a target that has Living Bomb, it doesn't explode anymore, does it?
Doesn't? No, it does not.
Yeah, so you want the Living Bombs to go their full duration and explode, I believe.
Yeah, it'll probably be bomb and D stun, so you have the stun that's a longer duration and it hits more targets, then flame strike bomb.
You can DW, wait a tick or two, and then use your combo, and then have another W. But that's that's a lot of setup.
Hero Physio says there's so much KT in my gold games on my LFM account.
I mean, I guess there's a lot of clumping.
Yeah, no, like I mean, you played with everyone just played with the Windtimers. Most of us
All
At least
clump.
half of us are the lower level, right? I mean, that's what we do. We clump up. Like that's.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
for
they-
a long time that was that was our crutch. Like we would
KT.
play unranked or team league, and then the enemy
Yeah,
team
and
could
KT.
kill us, and I'm like, oh shit, we just lost.
We lost.
Yeah, we would
Yeah.
ban
fucking
him. He was
clump like
first banned.
motherfuckers.
Well, guys, did you see the fear bomb when Sonya was about to die in the last Bush League? How you have the 5-man fear bomb? Everyone just huddled around the Sonya.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, she ran right through us. That's why we're
I
all
know,
huddled.
but like this is a giant clump ball.
All right. So Maiev, so she got nerfed. Oh, so is KT a buff or a nerf, or is it kind of like in the
He's a
middle?
Big buff.
Yeah, big buff.
It's got to be tested. Probably
Well,
above.
I mean, all his abilities got changed or improved. He had no abilities that were made worse.
Yeah, his level 4 talent got buffed.
Yeah, he only had buffs, more options given to him.
Okay.
Yeah, more options.
right,
The
all right.
only one that kind of feels bad is 13 Pyromaniac, but
That one, yes.
that one was overpowered to begin with. So
Yeah, that was the top tier talent at that level.
All right. So Maiev got a health reduction and a little bit of damage reduction from the auto attacks, but it's a minor nerf, pretty much.
the health is big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10%.
So what?
What is
10%
it?
health?
Was that like a 5% health nerf? 6%?
10%.
Hold on, let me see.
No, that's not 10%.
It's
It's
not
bad math again.
It's like 5%.
It's 5%. It's
Yeah.
close to
Okay.
6.
There you
Okay.
go.
6.
All right.
Yeah,
So I mean,
6% nerf.
so is this like a minor adjustment or a minor nerf for Maiev?
It's needed.
Yeah, I mean, Maiev isn't that strong herself, but her wombo combo setup potential to enable the rest of the team is too great that, I mean, she has to take a blow for that somehow.
Is she like after these changes? Is she still worth banning in Hero League or Team League at the first start, the first bans?
Well, these nerfs aren't going to change the setup potential that she can do, so she's still strong if you have a composition that's going to be vulnerable to her, or you just don't want to play against her.
Mhm.
Yep, straight up.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So Thrall.
Oh,
Oh,
just
yes.
a quick thing. Her trait was increased from 12 to 13. It lasts 0.75, the invulnerability status. Do you guys think what this, like, just to make it, like, what is it called when you improve quality of life? That's what it's called, quality of life.
Yeah, quality of life.
Make it last like 1 second.
No.
No.
I don't know.
She has enough escapes.
But I do want it to say unstoppable during the animation.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah,
nice
that'd
if it
be
said
nice.
unstoppable.
She's unstoppable, but it's just not listed as.
Yeah.
It's an animation that's pretty recognizable, though. But
True.
it should say unstoppable.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think
It's
that
not
was
really
out at
unstoppable,
8.
though. It's like invulnerable, right?
Well, I mean, can't she be CC'd?
Yeah, that's true.
What do you mean? She can't be CC'd when she jumps, right?
Yeah.
But unstoppable means no CC, but takes damage.
Yeah, she can't take damage. Yeah,
Okay.
she's invulnerable during it.
So,
Okay.
so
Alright, I
if,
see
if
what you
you're
mean.
invulnerable, you can't be crowd controlled, but you take damage. But if you're unstoppable,
No, no,
you,
no.
you can't.
If you're unstoppable, like Joanna's
Alright.
D, you
Yeah.
can still take damage. If you're invulnerable, you can't take damage, and you can't be crowd controlled. Nothing
it's
can
Divine
harm
Shield.
you.
Oh,
the only
okay.
thing
If you're
that could-
protected, you can be CC'd but not damaged.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the only
Okay.
thing that could affect you is time stop abilities like Void Prison or Maw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the highest tier of CC.
Yeah.
But it only
Yes.
pauses
Well,
your invulnerable state. You still get the rest of the cooldown.
Yes,
when
because I
you
learned
lose.
from the Myths of the Nexus, if you VP a Divine Shield Uther, he's still frozen.
I don't think
Pat,
I
we can't speak
tested
about that.
but
We can't speak about that anymore.
That's the highest
Yeah,
one.
now I'm gonna get like another month's worth of messages. Where's the next episode? God damn. It's not happening
can't-
anymore. Things
Alright,
have
so-
changed in my life. I don't have the time.
Yeah. All right. So Thrall, they reduced the damage from his Q ability, and they reduced Rolling Thunder's range. So, yeah, what do you think, Bacon?
Another one of Bacon's characters nerfed. His
Mhm.
assassin roll is nerfed.
The bacon gets
Um,
burned.
Bacon gets burned. The bacon's burnt.
The Bacon's burnt.
Honestly, the
Trash.
Q damage, it's fine. I can accept that completely because it's not the damage that you want; it's the trait value. The ticks of the ancestral healing, not ancestral healing,
Ancestral
the
Wrath.
ancestral wrath.
Frost
Is
Wolf
that what it's called?
Resilience.
Frostwolf.
Frostwolf
Resilience.
resilience. There we go. Yeah, that's the value from Chain Lightning, especially if you get 2 stacks of it. So yeah, and level 4 Frostwolf pack quest requirements reduced from 7 to 6 heroes. I don't
Eh.
care.
Man.
I don't know if
I
Bacon
never
I've
really
ever
took
picked
it.
that. Yeah, I've never
Unless
picked that.
unless I go unless I'm up against like a Cho'Gall, and I need the roots for the level 16 value. It's a very specific pick, and if it's easier, whatever. That's easy. It's only one hero. You should be good at hitting Frostwolves anyway.
So you're saying that Thrall, this is a minor nerf to Thrall?
Very minor. I need to read what the Rolling Thunder does exactly because
What it does or what it used to do?
What it used to do is when you
What it
hit a
used to
minion that's hit by Q, you get mana back, right?
Well, you get mana back. It used to increase the range of your
True.
Q by like 30% or 40%. Now it's your Q's the same range, but when you hit a target, you get life back.
Yeah.
for
And
10
mana back,
seconds after
probably.
hitting an enemy with Chain Lightning, Thrall's next basic attack against them restores 15 mana and 2.5% of his maximum health. Increase the number of Chain Lightning bounces by 1. So if you hit 4 people and you auto attack all 4 of them, then you get 10% of your health back.
Mm,
Yep.
Oh, I never thought
The
that.
bounces also apply Rolling Thunder. Is that true?
Yes, that's true.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's a debuff. If you ever played old Thrall, that was like the go-to talent, and you could see the debuff above their head.
So Schizo in chat asks, "Hey Bacon, when's the next episode of Myths in the Nexus?"
Ah, never.
To
Okay.
be determined.
Now
Alright.
it's for sure never because Schizo asked.
Ah.
He just
Alright,
killed the
so-
series single-handedly.
Shame on you.
All right, so Tracer, her destination on her recall is now visible to the enemy team.
Thank God.
You know,
That
I
is
talked
so
to
needed.
Grizzly. I was talking to Grizzly this morning, and he's a Tracer main, and he's like, "That's not that big of a deal."
It's hard.
Really?
He was
Well,
saying that like if you use it properly, then they really can't do very much, I guess.
Yeah, if you use
Yeah,
it
but-
properly.
Yeah, how about bad tracers? Now you can punish them.
Yeah, it comes up for like half a second where it's going to be, and then she pops up there.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
it is
Although
nice.
I heard somebody was telling me that you could tell before they even made this, was just like a quick flash.
That was Bacon
Yep.
said that.
Yeah. So Bacon said that, so it already existed. I think they just made it more noticeable.
Hmm.
Oh, it's sort of like Tychus's minigun or something. Like it's there, but you can't really see it.
Can we get a
Back in the
confirmation
day.
in chat if they changed the animation, or is that flash visible, just the same flash visible to the enemies?
Well, I never noticed it
It's-
before, but I played against a couple tracers today, and it was pretty obvious where she was gonna go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's a little circle that pops up.
Okay. Well, all right. So, Tychus, it looks like
More buffs.
they buffed Bigger They Are.
Yeah.
It's about damn time.
That's awesome. Wow, damn.
Yeah. I found that kind of strange considering the bigger they are is the premier talent at the higher levels.
Yep.
And in HGC especially.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. I know never to go in the rhythm now. Always bigger they are.
Why is that, Tyler Baron? Why is that?
Because I probably mispicked it, and it probably maybe cost us a kill or two, considering
did.
that Sand
Cost you a
jumped
game
down
that
so
day.
many times, at like 1% life. But yeah, this is good. This is good.
Hey, Scott, did you see Hero Physio did a replay review of Tyler Baron's game?
Mhm.
And Hero Physio's like, why did Tychus go in the rhythm when there's two
Yep.
tanks on the opposing team?
Yep.
Yeah.
The
I
reasoning
saw
was
that.
that I figured I was going to shoot down 2 tanks, and I got greedy.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. You set yourself up to lose from the start. I mean, I gave him solid advice
Mhm.
like on Saturday and he listened to none of it. So, I mean,
What'd you say?
Well, I would say this, Scott, that I forwarded your information. It was not taken well upon the team. So I had to
Mhm.
take that into account.
it's okay. You could tell the team that I was right.
Why don't you tell them right now on the show?
Scott's the best coach.
Why don't you
I
tell
was
them on the
right.
sh-
You
tell
also
them right now.
Yeah.
Tell them what you told me.
I'm not going to share strategies of what I
Aw,
told
eat
you.
a dick. Just say
all
it.
right, okay, fine. I said ban Stukov, pick Malfurion, and make Fringe useless.
I'm not useless. What are you talking about?
Your usefulness to the team is at least cut in half. If
No,
those two
no,
are
no.
true.
That is
Yep.
true. I actually
No.
commented after the team that Fringe isn't under any pressure at all during our games because we
Mhm.
have no dive pressure on him. He just kind of sits back, spams Q, and presses an occasional E. That's about it.
Yeah, I said force him to pick a hero that he has to put himself out there vulnerable to make a play.
Well,
Mhm.
first of all, we didn't know he would first pick Stukov, so we couldn't have stopped that outside of a first ban.
I told you to first ban him.
Our team
And who
not
did you
like-
ban? You banned Medivh
Medivh.
when their Medivh player wasn't even playing.
No.
You
We didn't
completely
ban.
threw that
We didn't ban Grizzlies Medivh. We banned Xenicorn's Medivh. That was a strong consensus among the team.
Why are you concerned about? He's a solo laner. If he plays Medivh, I'd say that's
You
a
win.
win for you guys.
I
Yeah,
actually
you're
haven't seen his
completely-
Medivh. The
you're
other players
changing.
on the team said they have, and they were very scared of it. So that's what went down.
I would never ban Zuni.
It was a
We need to learn to ban
strong
him.
Yeah.
opinion. Strong opinion from the team.
Yeah, you should have banned Stukov, taken Malfurion. Second round of bans, ban Junkrat.
We tried to mid ban Junkrat, but they took him as last picks for the first half of the draft.
Oh, okay.
That was actually our second ban, but then they took Junkrat and who else? I forget. I think Murden and Junkrat.
Yeah.
Second, third
Scott-
picks.
Scott, how did you like the first game with the siege tank strat? With
I like that one.
Oh, that was
That was-
awesome. I was
that was really cool.
surprised that you actually went that because
Old school.
you had to put a lot of faith in your hammer player to dish out some decent damage. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, that was cool. It's nice to see a cheese strat.
Yeah, also into an all rack. Right, all rack? I don't care. We're doing this.
Yep.
This team had almost no range damage though. It's like a lot of melee, I think.
Well,
team's
their
supposed to be
problem
tough.
was that they left their healer as their last pick. You don't do that.
Yeah, we learned that I think week 3.
Yeah,
Well,
you
but,
don't
I
do
mean,
that.
Teams
When we
that's
played
Ordos
against-
Lucio, so it's fine.
Yeah. But then you can't counter anything because you have to pick a healer, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the same thing that happened to Zexorus' team. Played against us. When we picked Illidan, Tassadar, he had to pick a healer and couldn't really
Yeah.
counter.
You know, we
Alright.
died a couple times in the early game, but we were expecting once we hit 13 and 16, we're gonna pop them
Yeah.
down. We're gonna win.
Mm-hmm.
Explosion
That's
zone on the
cool.
boss. Oh, that was actually the
Like, that was Bacon's hard on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mine.
my butthole so tight trying to get that explosion zone off, but I got it off. I always get off.
Ugh.
Oh, there it is. Hey, Hero Physio says to put me on Lily.
Yeah.
That's fine.
that you can do
I'm-
Lily.
I'm not concerned about Lily. If watched the game, there were, a couple plays where people die in silences, and those people that die in silences, those are all team fights that are important. It's not like you're picking off the solo laner or something in the early game where it's not that big a deal. If somebody dies in a team fight, all of a sudden it's 4v5, you gotta retreat, and if that's like a level 18 team fight, that's a huge death.
So you're saying the Fringe made plays?
I'm
Very
saying
easy.
we're saying that Fringe wasn't under
You're saying
pressure at
a minute.
all, and all he had to do was focus on pressing E because our team
Yeah.
never engaged hard like I asked them to. But that's a different story.
Wait,
Different
Scott, you
story.
didn't even really answer the question though. Say it.
Huh?
Say it.
Made some plays. I'd say it's more so the
He doesn't wanna
rest,
say it.
it's the rest
He
of your
doesn't wanna
team
say it.
keeping the person in the silence.
It's funny how much of the game he wants, French wants to talk about when he has actually won the game. I
Right.
find that a
You
little
guys
interesting.
brought it up.
Oh
You
yeah,
guys all-
when
I
Bacon
didn't know
crushed
you
him.
brought this up. You guys went down
And
this.
you're trying to like juice out all the details, and the last week
You
is like,
guys-
oh, so we played a game last week. Okay, moving on.
No. First of all, you guys brought it up. I did not even want to talk about this. You guys kept talking about it.
It is
Yeah.
funny.
I guess that's
Yeah.
our Bush League recap.
Well, on that note, Sudolph got nerfed. Yeah, Sudolph was nerfed,
Oh,
guys.
okay,
The Fringe Sudolph is gone.
Yeah, Fringe's. All right, so Fringe's team beat TB. Zex's team, the team I'm on, beat Daz's team.
4. Yeah.
Team 4.
And a great cheese strat. Fantastic cheese strat. I loved it.
All right.
Yeah.
So Medivh, the Arcane Explosion and talent level 7 got reduced a little bit. That's okay, according to Grizzly.
A lot of it. It's reduced by half.
That was necessary. Like, I haven't played against
Good.
that many Medivhs, but I was playing, a couple games, and like I had like at like around like level mid game, like level 13, I'd have that explosion hit me for like 1,200 damage.
Wow.
That's a shit
Like-
ton of damage. That's like
half.
That's like 75% of like a KT Pyroblast
Yeah.
on a 10-second cooldown. So
Okay. Well, according to Grizzly, who's probably the best Medivh player in the amongst the Gankbush community, he says this is.
Zuni. Zuni's the best one.
Anyway, so he says that it's not that big of a deal. He's still really good according to him. So, all right. So Ana, she can now self heal. So I think this is a buff to Ana.
Well, she could always self heal, except before she could only self heal off of other heroes. So now she can self heal off of waves, minion waves. The only thing is that you can't see how many stacks are on each wave, so you have to kind of count them. It makes it a little bit harder. I mean, with Ana, it's always very skill shot based, and it's just one more skill and thing you have to keep track of with Ana. So she can self heal. I tried it out. I can stack it on like all the minions, but it's pretty difficult to do. To see like which minion has how many stacks and stuff. There is a sound when you get all 5, like when you get all 5 stacks off, but you can't see outside of the heroes. So she can heal in lane, but she's gonna have to have someone there like protecting her as always,
So Tarbren, is she somewhat viable at all after this?
Well, but before her healing, her self thing was shit, pretty much, because she can't really get that close to heroes, and there's not that many heroes to heal off of. But now she has 5 other minions or whatever to heal off of. It's a huge difference. It definitely, I think that should have been the change to begin with.
that should have been baseline originally, because originally she didn't even get any healing
Yeah,
at all from her trait.
yeah.
It's a step in the right direction. She'll never be, adequate at healing herself, but it's better than nothing.
Yep. It's not a burst heal, it's just a sustain heal. And then like when you apply the doses, you get healed over time, like over the 5 seconds for each dose. So it's not quick, but you can do it off a wave. So.
All right. I think this is a step in the right direction, but she's not done yet.
Wait, but you guys notice that the healing dart now is down from 15 to 10 mana. That's massive. The darts are so cheap now. So before, her main ability was that she could heal, like the heal per mana ratio was so ridiculously in favor of like Anna. Like for instance, like let's say if Furion heals for 100, costs them 20 mana. She heals for 100 at 10 mana. So she had twice the ratio of healing to mana cost.
Well, that was
That's even
okay
more.
because
But you're
That's
not
what
made you
accounting.
skill shot.
You're not accounting accuracy. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, no, exactly. But that's part of the point of it. But if you hit all your Qs, you get a massive amount of healing out of her.
Well, this
That's
is
why
saying the
best-
mana cost was reduced. So it was
was.
15, now it's 10.
It's even better now. She has even more healing per mana.
You can miss more shots now.
Exactly.
Nice.
Or not
Um,
miss, just hit.
Yeah.
So,
with
Tyrant,
this
is it-
change,
yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. So Tyrant, is it possible that this makes her more viable in a maybe a Cho'Gall comp, like on Tomb of the Sprite Queen, or a small map?
Well, she would definitely go nano boost on that, and that got kind of nerfed with the cooldown. Still pretty low, but
But wouldn't her healing output be much more now because
Her
Cho'Gall's a pretty
self-healing.
big? Yeah,
her
but
self-healing, I
Cho'Gall-
guess.
yeah.
You're not really. Yeah, I guess you can heal more healing darts, but you never really miss Cho'Gall because he's such a big target.
Mhm.
It's
So-
hard. It's hitting like tracers and like Hanzos and stuff. with
So
the
it's
healing
possible. So it's possible if someone would play a Bush League team on a small map like Tomb of the Spire Queen, that maybe it's possible that you should ban Ana if they go Cho'Gall. If the team goes Cho'Gall.
dart. I wouldn't go that far because at Bush League, it's. I don't know. I think she's still heavily diveable. Again, her healing's like over time and it's slow. So maybe it's second support, like an enabler.
Oh, so
Yes.
are there any teams in Bush League that run double support?
Our team has been known to run double support in the past, as well as running Cho'Gall, as you already know.
Okay, go ahead, Bacon.
This if she's a bit more viable, obviously, just not in most comps. You have to be a little bit more careful. The biggest change now is because you want to be prioritizing just getting stacks on everything as much as possible and kind of juggling between that while sleep darting like relevant
Yep.
targets, getting grenades on the right people at the right time. Maybe you're
It's
going to use it
crazy.
defensively or offensively while trying to get a Q off every 2 to 3 seconds, right? And auto
Yep.
attacking
Yeah.
and stutter stepping. So this kind of sounds like Malfurion's playstyle of
It
you're
is
kind of
Malfurion.
juggling a lot of different things and trying to make sure you're not overstepping in terms of your positioning. So yeah, it's I don't know how much like it'll be worth it because it's gonna take a long time for you to learn this playstyle because it's a pretty unique playstyle for a support. And if you think it's worth it, then go for it. But if you're not mechanically sufficient, I guess just skip it. Go
Yeah,
play
that's-
right wing.
That's
Bacon.
always been the case with Anna. But now, if you want to get her second level abilities in terms of like to really exploit her strengths, you have to be really spot on with all your skill shots, like Bacon said, mechanically.
So,
All right,
Bacon, are you mechanically sufficient?
Of course,
Always?
not always.
Okay.
No, but she feels better, a lot better.
Yeah.
This change needed to happen.
Yeah, I think I'll say it now. I think in the next 1 to 2 patches, I think or 1 to 3 patches, I think she gets a buff, another buff, and then she'll be in the meta. I think after that. All right, so Oriole got buffed. So actually, the best part I think is they buffed her trait, so the energy stored to non-heroes is increased now from 5 to 10% of the damage dealt. So that's really big.
That's massive.
So what'd you say? Which hero?
Ariel.
Oriole. Oriole. Oh,
Oh.
Oreos.
Oh.
Boom.
Sorry.
Making fun of me. Okay, all right.
So,
So,
yeah, Fringe. Say Oriole and Oreo.
so anyway, bestow hope.
Fringe, try it.
Oriole.
The Oriole.
Oriole.
And
Oreo.
Oreo.
Oreo. Oriole. Oriole. Oriole.
And what's the circle around the nipple? Areola?
No, it's the areola, isn't it?
Yeah, it's part of the joke. Come
Yeah.
on. All right.
Mhm.
I was
Oriola.
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 All right, so I think Oriole is now in the meta now. That's my prediction now.
With the cream filling?
Well, she definitely needs some cream filling. Isn't she like a
Who needs cream filling? Go on.
I don't know. I have nothing else to say.
I thought it was all
Okay.
dark down there.
Well, Bestow Hope was buffed. Energy stored when Ariel hits non-heroes increased from 5 to 10%. So they doubled her output, just like you double stuff in Oreo.
Double stuff.
Well said.
Ah,
Magic
that was
double
good.
stuff.
On the fly.
Double stuff the goodness.
Double stuff that hope.
That's pretty cool.
Sounds wrong.
Like if you Q a wave, that's actually a lot of damage that you can get hope from.
Yeah.
So anyway, what do you guys think? Like, what does Scott think when I say that she's in the meta now?
I don't know. I mean, for the trait, is that only on auto attacks or is that on abilities too?
All damage.
And that makes her significantly better because her hope generation, from what I've played her, just seems subpar.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
that's nice. Also, the level 4 talent that increases the knockback distance.
That's awesome. 13
I'd
plus
say
4.
that's huge. I really think you're going to see her in HGC play after these changes.
I think I don't know. The 4 seconds is still pretty long. What if you had full help energy, your healing cooldown goes increased by 50%. You know what I
like
mean?
that.
So it
Some-
goes down to
because-
what, like 3 seconds if you're on full hope.
Something like that. The biggest thing is the 4-second hope. I mean,
Mhm.
heal cooldown. If it's 3 seconds, then she'll be too strong, and if it's 4, I don't think it's fast enough. That's just my opinion.
Well, I think you're right, but I think that with the nerfs, we haven't got to Malfurion and Stukov yet, but with those guys getting nerfed, I think it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like the Wild West now when it comes to supports. I think all of them are kind of somewhat on the same tier.
Yeah, they've all kind of been brought in line.
Yeah, push to the same side. They're all like kind of the same level now. It's very well done. Like they changed the whole support meta because they buffed and nerfed all the supports to be,
Yeah.
more in line with each other.
Yeah, this
Good.
needed to happen a month or two ago.
Yep. But anyway, so I think this is a good. I don't really care about like the changes to the talents very much, But like I just think the trait is what puts her in the meta now. I don't think she's HCC meta ready, because she still doesn't have a cleanse, and the cooldown on the on the health, whatever. I mean, on the Q ability is still kind of long, but.
Mhm.
I think she's viable in everywhere else. But
Well, I
Right.
think that her 10, her Aegis needs to have armor at level 10 because right now you just wait for Aegis to pop and you kill the target afterwards. So like if you get armor post Aegis, that'd be really really nice, like 25, something that's reasonable.
yeah, that's actually a good idea. Actually, but if only Blizzard actually listened to us or helped us in any way,
Yeah.
we would tell them about it. But anyway,
Mhm.
all right. So Decker Kane got buffed for some reason. They buffed Lornado, even though it's kind of really good.
Yep.
They buffed the slow to Sapphire, his most picked talent at level 1.
Mhm.
It's
Even Ruby
it's
got-
by far the worst, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the slow at level 1 wasn't that good.
Oh, all right.
I don't think this 5% change does anything to help it either.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, bad is bad.
Yeah. His both the stones got at level 1 and 4 got buffed. The biggest thing is field study at level 1, the one that increases your healing. A lot of 30% spell power is actually a lot of spell power for your healing potions. And
Yeah,
one
it's
of
a shit ton.
Deku biggest weaknesses is burst healing. And Scroll of Identity, obviously, 15 armor is pretty good, minus 15 armor. And the Ruby, oh my god, according to Hotslogs, Ruby's at 40%, and then the next highest talent is 50%. So it's a 10% win rate differential for Ruby. And the biggest thing is why? The Ruby hits, and it fucking spawns outside of the spawn circle. So it's actually very hard for your dive hero to get value because they need to run around in a circle to get the healing potions. So
Yeah. You want to attack and kill this guy or grab some potions?
Yeah.
Choose.
it's a lot of healing, granted, but it's so out of the way. And level 13, Ancient Blessing, that nerf needed to happen. It's too strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bottomless Flask, yeah, too strong.
Yeah,
5 to
the
6
bottomless
seconds respawn.
flask is ridiculous. Like his healing before you hit 20 is, I feel, slightly weak, and then as soon as you hit 20, if you're fighting in an area for longer than like 10 seconds and you're able to set up, the amount of healing with a bottomless flask just seems ridiculous.
Yeah. So what? He's like a Gazelle healer.
Well, he goes from like, oh, you're playing this team even, and then you hit 20 and it's just like you win team fights and it's over. That's what it feels like. As long as you're fighting in one spot.
So it sounds like you guys think that he got a nerf.
He did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the talents that don't matter got buffed. Talents that do matter got nerfed.
The talents, yeah, the shitty talents that got buffed are still shitty, and then the good talents are nerfed. Yep.
Lornado got buffed. That's about it.
Yeah, 5 seconds. It's still up always. Time. Yeah.
Lornado's awesome, but it's also very easy to not get any value out of it. So maybe that's why they buffed
Yeah.
it.
Because it takes a while to come out. That's the main thing. It takes like a second or like 1.5 seconds for it to
Yeah.
manifest.
He throws a
French
book.
might
Books
know
are
and
slow.
everything about taking a while for it to come out.
All right. So I had a question about Lily. Isn't the trait build at 1 in 4 the way to go for the most cases, or am I wrong about that?
Not according to the win percentages.
Okay, because like I haven't played it that much, but
Before
I always just
today?
go trait. No, in general, like before the patch came today, wasn't like the trait build at 1 in 4 the way to go for
Trait was the
Lily?
worst one.
Oh,
And as a Lily professional player, okay, so the level 1 free drinks, it's the one that reduces your Q by 1 second and gives you free healing cups if the target is under 50% health, right? And the 1 second cooldown reduction is actually amazing, and you actually get a lot of good healing value out of it. And especially if you combine that with the level 16, so it goes from a 4-second talent healing Q to a 3-second, and then if you take the level 16 talent 241, which adds a second to your healing cups, it goes back to a 4-second cooldown instead of a 5-second cooldown. So
Then if you have your trait, that's reduced further too.
Yeah.
Yep. And the Wind Serpent was actually pretty amazing because it reduced the cooldown of Wind Serpent, and you can place it on whoever's getting dive, especially if it's like an Illidan or a Graveman, and just place it on them, and that target is blinded, and then you follow up with another blind. So they're blinded for 2 to 3 seconds, and you use your healing cups to try to get them out of that sticky situation. So level 1 Wind Serpent was actually situationally the best talent on that tier. And Lily's biggest issue is obviously trying to heal the target you want to heal. So if you go level 1 free drinks, you get more heals per second, and you get free heals. Especially if you're room, you can still get free heals if your targets are under the 50% threshold. So you still get value out of it. And the biggest thing was the trait build at level 1. To get value out of it, you needed to be taking damage, so it actually forces you to play more aggressively and get caught out more because you're wanting to take damage to activate the trait, and it's kind of like a opposite playstyle of what Lily wants to do: stay in the back line and make sure everyone's topped off and not take damage yourself. And the trait build at level 1 forces her to move forward and get caught out.
Okay, so I mean, is this a buff or a nerf?
Well, it does nerf the Wind Serpent build, which is what our team's Lily always picked, like a majority of the time. So that extra blind on the Wind Serpent does affect it. I actually think Lily should get nerfed a little bit more, considering that she is kind of a high win rate healer, like one of the higher win rate heroes, like of all the healers, right?
Yeah, she's up there.
Yeah, I think she should get nerfed more, actually.
Oh, all right.
That's what I feel like.
All right. Okay, so
and the other talents that they 4 and 16, those talents really don't matter.
Yeah, I've never really used those ones.
okay, so Morales, I really don't care about Morales.
Yeah, she got him buffed, but it's Morales.
Come on, Fringe. We saw your Morales that created the storm.
No, it was bad. All right, so Malfurion, it got a pretty big buff. I mean, pretty big
Buff.
nerf.
There we go.
Yeah.
So his health got reduced, and the damage from Twilight Dream got reduced, and then also the healing output from Moonfire got reduced. So
Second time they've nerfed it. It used to be 140, I think, like a few patches ago. So it just keeps on going down.
So Scott, is it RIP for top healer now?
I mean, these are substantial nerfs, but Malfurion still has root, and his Twilight Dream still silences, and those are some key aspects to his success. So I'd say the biggest change out of this is probably the Twilight Dream damage reduction, because Twilight Dream hits pretty hard.
For support too.
Yeah.
The silence is amazing by itself already, so
Yeah. I think you're gonna see a lot more tranquilities now.
pros have been taking tranquility too in the HGC.
Yeah, it's like a 50-50 toss up.
And this might
All right.
push it over.
Okay.
But these are needed nerfs though. Like Malfurion was top support for a long time. Now they're pushing it back down to everyone else.
And I think it's
very needed.
It's RIP for Gold League and lower though for Malfurion. I think you just can't heal enough unless the play level has to be much higher than the bronze to gold level that you're in.
Well,
to be as effective as some of the other healers like Lily.
Well, based on what Bacon said 1 or 2 shows ago, that even master level Malfs can't heal enough now with this change.
Yeah, the thing is, people are taking a lot more damage in the lower games because the lack of dodging and getting stunned by like other things and like other heroes and stuff. So it's gonna be rough for Malfurion players. So.
All right, so Stukov basically
He got
he pulls
fucked.
out what?
He got fucked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Hard.
I don't think I mean, it's obviously a pretty big nerf, but I think that you just have to be a little bit more. You gotta be more sure when you drop your lurking arm in a team fight now.
Yeah, because you're gonna have a 15-second cooldown on your looking arm. 15, man. That's longer than the root for
Or
Malfurion.
if you take the
have
talent
root
at
per team
level
fight.
1,
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's the standard most picked talent right now. Is the
Mhm.
greater
Early arm. Yeah.
greater radius on his silence.
Yep. So I think this change is very it was needed. I still think that he's still pretty good though. You just have to at least with me, I'm kind of bad sometimes where like I'll use it to clear waves. You
Mhm.
can't do that anymore. But
Nope.
basically I think you get it if you go, if you keep going the build that you've always been going, you only get one lurking arm per team fight now.
Mhm.
So when you use it, you have to make sure that you're very make sure it's a good one.
You have to combo with the W. WE. It has to be the combo, otherwise it's a waste.
What if they allow you to use your healing while lurking arm is down?
I mean, that'd be nice.
You mean not
But
the?
as long as,
Well,
like,
you can
not
use
the
the
arms,
bio.
right?
You could bio kill switch when
No,
you're.
I'm
can do
saying
that.
lurking arms down, and my Q is off cooldown, and I can still E, but I can cast Q.
But the problem is he uses his arm to throw the Q, right? If the arm's in the ground, you can't do both.
Yes,
Yeah,
two
that one
arms.
makes.
Yeah, he has one gross arm.
I thought the healing pustule or whatever comes from is like that big deformed arm, right?
Yeah,
big
that's in the
purple
He
ground.
can take his clean hand and reach into his ugly hand.
Dirty hand.
and just throw it out there with the good hand.
Yeah.
All right, so so Bacon, who's the best support now? If you were first picking a support in Hero League, what
Uh-huh.
would you pick?
Lily.
Really?
Oh, okay. Is that
What
what about
Rhaegar?
Scott? What about Scott?
I don't know. I mean, I still think Malfurion and Stukov are good. The numbers hurt, but they still have the same utility.
Just less often.
Yeah, if you're able to maximize when you use their abilities, they're gonna be just as effective.
Dan, are you scrolling?
Yeah, someone's scrolling. I hear
What?
that.
I'm not scrolling.
That's TB.
I'm not scrolling. What?
That's not me.
What? What's up?
It's not me. Is it Bacon?
No, it's not me.
I'll say
Not-
the biggest nerf for Stukov though is probably the level 4 one good
One
spread.
good spread.
Yep.
Yeah.
The mana restoration goes from 30 to 10. One good spread used to be almost like a free Q because it would only cost like 10 mana, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's significantly more. So you're gonna actually have mana issues now where before it was not an issue.
You know, I actually played with Bacon in the Windtimers like a couple hours ago, and I didn't really. I mean, I still didn't really feel the mana problem at all. So that's why I'm not really too worried about him.
Yeah,
I think he's still really good, but
Like I
Yeah.
said, you hang out in the back and you don't cast your W. So
what?
you're only using 2 abilities.
No, no, no,
That's
no,
Why, why would you have mana issues?
no, 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 no.
You don't
No,
you
no,
don't take
no.
the
That is
root
true.
build, so you are obviously afraid to use your W.
No, no,
Yeah.
no, 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 no.
Do
Yeah, I
you
don't
root
think
build?
You didn't slow
No.
anybody.
I've never seen
No,
you take
it's a
it.
root build.
I've taken it. I just don't get any value from this. I stopped using it.
I will, you
'Cause
know,
you're not good
amend
with it,
what
you
I
need to
said
practice it.
earlier.
He's your main healer. He's your main bitch, and you can't play one of his best playstyles. Come
No,
on,
no,
man.
no, He's not my main. He's not my main. Look,
Well-
look at my. He's like my 6th most played healer. He's not my main healer.
You first picked him in our game.
It's
I don't know
not-
what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
That's well. I'm not
You
gonna go
highly
into details.
prioritize him.
No. That was a I didn't want to go Stukov first pick. I actually wanted another pick first pick, but the team wanted the Stukov, so I didn't want to do it. But anyway, okay.
Well, but are you happy that they nerfed the build you couldn't play?
No,
No.
no.
I mean, now you're reason to. Oh, I came to the build. It's been nerfed. Oh, too bad.
Hey, you know what? Who makes plays? Fringe makes plays. Scott said so. All right, so all right, let's
Until
go
you
to,
get like until you get a 2-man lurking arms root, and that seals the deal for a game.
I
Nope.
put a clip on the Discord of a Fringe play. So
I don't think you ever hit anyone with your W or slowed anyone the
Yes, I
entire
did.
game.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
If you did it, it was not impactful at all.
Yeah.
You could have used that on ETC when he was running away. Half the game he was running away. If you would have landed one of your Ws and slowed him, he would have been dead.
Yeah, you don't
two
even need to hit
times.
trait. You just need to hit the W and then just.
I think
lurking
you guys
arm in.
don't. I hit a lot. Like my damage is pretty high, and all the damage comes from W. So I don't know what you guys are talking about.
What the fuck?
All your damage came from your
What?
E.
No,
Yeah.
no. You guys are all right. Let's move on to Garrosh. Garrosh, they nerfed him. The stun duration got nerfed a little bit, but the slow amount got increased. Yeah, so this is definitely a nerf. So what does All Backpack think about Garrosh?
It's about damn time. Because like once you did the throw Q, you're stunned for way too long. You couldn't use any sort of escape abilities. So now, if you have mobility after the stun, you can still use it, and you're able to break the CC chain that Garrosh is able to do. It's really needed. This is a great change for him.
Great in the sense that it makes him weaker and balances
Yeah.
him, right? All right.
Bounces him, yeah. He was too good. Like he controlled the area around him so effectively, you couldn't actually really dive past him. So yeah, this is great.
Yep.
Right. Cool.
All right. Well, all right.
Okay.
All right. So Sonya.
Good side.
So they just moved some of her abilities. So Battle Rage, her most picked level 4, got moved to level 7, which is for those of you who don't know, Battle Rage is the one that gives you the 8% heal.
10%.
Right.
No, it's
10%.
8%. Yeah.
So you got
thought they
that. So that
nerfed
got
it
moved
to
to level
8.
7 now. What?
I thought they nerfed it to 8.
Was it nerfed to 8?
No, they reduced the charges to 2 when it used to be 3.
Yeah. But so anyway, so now that talent, Battle Rage, is now level 7, and it competes now with Poison Spear.
Poison Spear.
But they also move Shots of Fury, which is a activatable on your D, which gives you like 10% Fury to level 4 now. So
10%. It gives you 50 fury. It fills up half your bar.
oh.
Also, I believe doesn't it make like the auto attack after a W a crit?
Yeah, your slam hits for 40% harder.
There we go.
And also, if you go Mystical Spear, if you use your Q and if you don't hit an enemy hero, your cooldown is reduced of the Q by 5 seconds. So if you miss,
That's huge.
yeah,
Right?
that's
'Cause
actually-
if you
yeah.
miss, you're stuck there forever.
No, the cooldown is reduced by 5 seconds, so you're not stuck there.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
if you hit somebody, you can't use it immediately.
Ow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think this is it's a nerf, but I don't think it's that big of one. I mean, I think I talked to Zuni, the master level player who plays Sonya, and he said that you still want to go Battle Rage at level 7, and you want to go the E ability, the Whirlwind ability at level 4. Is what he said.
Yeah. So now
Yep.
you spend more.
I was gonna bring that up. The spin to win may be back
Ah, perfect.
because the whirlwind used to be on a 4-second cooldown,
Mhm.
and they buffed it up to 5 seconds. And
That's
now
quite a
with
buff.
this, or
You
they didn't
increase the
buff it. They nerfed
it.
the cooldown to 5 seconds, and so when you took the talent at 4 for the old spin to win, it brought it down to 3. Now with this adjustment in talents, it's brought down to 3 seconds again. So, people might be doing the spin to win again. As long as if you're not playing in a comp with a lot of crowd control.
All right, so I think Sonya's fine. I mean, she's not as good as she used to be, but I think she's still pretty solid now. So
It's a big nerf to the poison spear build.
yeah.
Yeah, her burst is gonna be a lot lower now, which is okay. She's more sustainless burst.
All right, so by my counting, 18 heroes were touched, and 13 of them got nerfed by our own, tally, I guess. But 5 got buffed. So this is definitely a pretty big nerf overall to the meta.
Mhm.
All right, so what are you guys' thoughts on the meta or on this patch overall? So let's go to Bacon first.
I like it for the most part. It needed to happen, a lot of these nerfs. But I also would have liked to see, like, a lot of these nerfs were nudges, like we were talking about a week or two ago. So that's great. But what about the other side? What about all the heroes that have been neglected for the past couple months that need a little bit nudging up? Where are those? and that's
So,
my biggest
Namely,
complaint.
Rainer,
Yeah.
right?
Rainer. Yeah.
Murky,
Well, I
Lost
think-
Vikings.
Yeah.
All this means is that this
So-
is clearly a prep for mid-season brawl, right? This is a patch for the pros to change the meta.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what this is. This is the mid-season brawl patch.
Mhm.
There's like a 95% chance that this is the patch the mid-season brawl is played on.
Oh yeah, no, it's a month away. Mid-season brawl is not for exactly.
Yeah.
It's on June 9th, so it's a month away. So this is definitely a. I think what happened was that they wanted to have new heroes come up in the mid-season brawl, so they nerfed stuff so that maybe there's more diversity in the characters that are played.
Mhm.
So, and I think they tackled those characters that everyone plays. I think so.
Yeah.
I think it makes it
Right.
exciting to see what the pro
Exactly.
players bust out now. So like you get to see Korea, you get to see Europe, you get to see North America play on this brand new patch in a month. You get to see what the meta looks like. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Like, much as we cry for, hey, where's the buffs on the forgotten characters? They don't have time for that. They have to prep for mid-season brawl. They need to focus effort on who is gonna watch the main show, right? They have to. This is very neat and very well done.
Yeah, I agree. I think overall, like I don't like on an individual character by character basis. I kind of agree with most of it, if not all of it. So I'm not going to say that this is a bad patch. I think it's a good patch because if you look at it on a per character basis, everything makes sense to me for the most part. Malf was too strong. Stukov was too strong. What you guys are hearing? Are you guys hear background music or is that just me? Or background noise?
Music. I heard
Not
it.
music,
You?
but just me? Oh, weird. All right, but anyway, so like Garrosh needed to be nerfed. I don't know. Lily needed a nerf too. Then that was not me, right?
What are you looking at?
That
old
sounded
backpack?
like a
That was
motorcycle.
Tower
Okay.
Baron.
all right.
It's not Tower Baron. Wait. Old backpack look to his left. There's something going on.
That,
over there.
that was a rumbling fart right there.
That was so consistent throughout. What are you guys eating?
Somebody's
diets or so.
chair was shaking on that.
Someone's behind you, pet. Well, backpack.
I know who that is.
Not your backpack either.
No, it's not a backpack.
Unless you're into that.
All right, but anyway, so I
Wonderful
think
ones.
overall, I think the patch is good. I'm not gonna say it's bad. I think it's good, and yeah. Anyone else have thoughts?
I like to see in a couple weeks some changes for the ignored heroes.
Well, there was on Reddit. Someone said that on Instagram from Blizzard said that there's a PTR patch coming next week,
Ooh.
whatever that means. So who knows?
Well,
They-
that's
they could be
probably
full of
for
shit.
like the luchador masks, like skins, right?
Possibly, but there
You're
you,
not
you
gonna
never
have
know.
a
Like,
PTR just for skins. There's got to be other substance.
Yeah.
To it.
but if you think about it, right? If this patch was for the HUC, right? The next PTR patch could be for the other characters that would need to get buffs. But these changes in the PTR patch won't be used for HUC, so they can actually try out and buff some characters and see what happens, and not have it affect the biggest tournament, second biggest tournament in the year, right? So I think it's okay.
Yeah, I'd say it's the biggest tournament. I know big BlizzCon's more hyped, but mid-season brawl, the tournament format, more games. I'd say it's
New
that's where it's at.
rosters.
It's what BlizzCon should be, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's what
I agree.
BlizzCon should be, but BlizzCon doesn't
was-
have the amount of time to do it.
it was 3 days. Like, yeah.
Yeah, no, like it bugs me on the second day. They're still doing best of fives. That's kind of so. But anyway, all right. Well, so lastly, almost forgot. We got 3 new Patreon subscribers in the last since the last show, and we got one from Shin, and we got one from True Mr. Fu, and we got one from someone else. I don't know who it is because they use real names, and I don't know people's real names. But so thank you to everyone who supported
What's his
us on
first
Patreon.
name?
You calling me out, huh? All right, let's pull it up.
Well, I mean, want to
Yeah, no, I'll
thank
find
them
it.
properly.
Yeah,
Thank you,
yeah, okay.
Shin. Thank you, True.
Well, the thing is that I don't know Shin's real name, So all right, I'll just say all their names. So we got one from Mike. I think that's Shin actually. We got one from Steven Jonas. And we got one.
We're doing last names now. I thought it was just first names.
Yeah, what's a social?
It's
Yeah, what's-
571. No,
What's the address?
Well, obviously your
blood type?
number is 571.
it is not actually. I chose numbers that are somewhat close to it, but not exactly that.
Right.
But anyway, so Mike, thank you very much. Steven Jonas, thank you very much. And thank you to Chad Futrell. Thank you very much to every one of you. And also thank you to not what's God. It's not Zexerus, it's not Zune, it's something with a Z. It's part of Blemish's and Shin's crew. Zernax. Thank you, Zernax, for subscribing to us via Twitch Prime. We all appreciate everyone who supported us.
And
And
there was
yeah.
Dylon the Cylon.
who's that?
Yeah,
When
Dylon.
this stream just began, they subscribed to us with Twitch Prime. So thank you, Dylon the Cylon.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
All
thank
right,
you very
cool.
much. Oh, he's the one who gave me who gave us the iTunes review, and I said his name wrong.
Yeah, it's
I don't know.
killer, isn't it?
I think I said Cyclone.
Yeah, you didn't know what a Cylon was.
Oh my God.
So, but anyway, so thank you to everyone who supported us on Patreon. It's actually, to be honest, seeing that today actually gave me the motivation to get everyone together to do this show today. So, so there you go. So you can definitely know you all subscribing today encouraged me to do this show today. At least they asked everyone to do the show.
Well, now we know that Fringe is 100% motivated by money. And
Yes.
if you keep giving us money, we'll keep
Yeah.
giving you Gang Push.
Yeah.
He
Well-
can be bought.
Yep.
well, the money goes back into the Bush League, pretty much. So I think that's what's going to happen next season. All the money is going to go into getting casters and getting coaches like Bacon and Hero Physio and Goonhots and other very smart individuals to do more replays and pay them as well. So that's the idea we have in place, or that I have in place. But we'll see how it goes. All right, but so that's our show. So let's go ahead and go to Tower Baron.
And that's our show, and we'll see you in the Nexus.
Thank you to everyone who
Yeah,
showed
everyone
up.
blow ASAP. Now go. Jesus Christ.
Last one was so much better.
That's the outro. We're good.
the miss on the stage.